Here comes Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. It's finally here, and you do a great job breaking it down. Let's get a preview going.
Yeah, we're going to go a lot of different directions, and then we're going to take a vote who's going to win the Super Bowl. But let's get started. Topic number one, super seasons. I mean, this was just an absolutely amazing year for both the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Superb seasons, I'd have to say. You know, the pressure on Kansas City, I think, for the whole season, John, was, can they three-peat? How long will they go unbeaten? Is anybody going to knock them off along the road in the playoffs? It's not the same vintage Kansas City Chiefs team we've seen in years gone by. I kept saying, well, the injuries had a lot to do with it. Trust me, their best football is still ahead of them. And their best football came as we got to postseason, and they're playing on Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, this has been a superb 15-2 football team that's gone through some really bumpy roads. At the end of the day, this team has gotten healthy. Offense has now been rebuilt around the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Offensive line went through a lot of manifestations. They moved people around. They think they probably have the right people in the right places for Super Bowl Sunday. It's a really, really good team. Philadelphia is just sitting there waiting. Nobody's talked about the fact the Eagles won 14 games this year. Nobody's talked about the fact Philadelphia's won 15 of the last 16 games they've played. They're talking, obviously, about their great star running back, Saquon Barkley. They're talking about Nick Sirianni. They should be talking about every facet of Eagle football. These are really two really, really good teams. I'm going to give you a chance just to respond to each of the segments we're going to do here. Your thoughts on the season Kansas City just completed and what Philadelphia has arrived at.
It's interesting that both of these teams went through, we'll call them, quote, rough patches.
Yep.
I mean, the Eagles, last year they finished the season a disaster, and they got off to a slow start, if I recall. And we were kind of counting them out, and then all of a sudden they came running on a vengeance.
Philadelphia, 8 blowout wins this season alone.
Yeah.
And you're correct. They lost 6 of their last 7 at the end of last season. They collapsed. Sirianni made coaching changes. Bingo, it's a very different team. And then there's the Kansas City statistic, which everybody's made reference to. They have won 17 straight games by a touchdown or less. John, that means to me their DNA, they know how to play at the most pressurized points of a game. Crunch time, fourth quarter. Crunch time, come from behind. Crunch time if it has to go to overtime. That's an intangible that not a lot of people have. 17 wins in a row by a touchdown or less, going back last year and a half. So these two teams are ready, I think.
You're praising them now? You were always saying this has got to be the most disappointing 8-2, 9-2 team that I've seen in a long time.
But dumbass co-host also said their best football is still ahead of them once they got healthy, and now their best football is right in front of them. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, just reinforcing who I am. So super seasons. Next time.